Welcome to this week's version of Nickels and Dimes, our weekly video series. Well, part of the process of financial planning, if you want to create an ideal plan, in my opinion, is to create estate planning documents and legal documents for the what ifs in life. So today we're going to talk about one of those documents, and that is a power of attorney, and specifically who to choose as your power of attorney. And by the way, if you find value in this video, if you see it on social media or get it in an email, go ahead and forward it or share it. So let's jump in and explore how to choose a power of attorney. And let's take a step back here. What's a power of attorney? Most of you probably know it's a legal document that allows someone else to act on your behalf. And this certainly can be helpful to older people and others who want to choose a trusted person to act on their behalf. So we're going to talk about 5 of the best characteristics or the most ideal characteristics, because this is a very important decision that you might be thinking about if you don't have a power of attorney, or of course, if you do have the document, you probably have thought about these things already. So let's jump in and explore further. Now, if you do not create a power of attorney, a friend or family member might have to go to court and you will have to have a guardian appointed. So for example, if you become incapacitated and are no longer able to make decisions for yourself, that would be a situation. And the process, if you don't have a power of attorney, can be lengthy, expensive, and very public. So what are the 5 qualities of a ideal power of attorney? In my opinion, here are the 5. Number 1, we have to have trustworthiness. Number 2, competence and expertise. Number 3, emotional stability, proximity. And number 5 here, willingness and availability. So let's go over number 1. This is a very important document. The person is going to be following through on your wishes and acting in your best interest. So you have to trust them. That probably is obvious, but just want to mention that. Number 2, they have to have some type of skill, for example, be organized, detail-oriented, and capable, in my opinion, of managing financial or healthcare decision. That's a perfect situation. Many times you don't get a professional, but a person, again, has those skills. But if you were going to go to the professional route, a professional fiduciary or even a financially savvy relative might be an ideal choice. So first one, trustworthiness. Second on this list is competence and expertise. Number 3 here, as I mentioned, emotional stability. There's going to be some emotion involved in the process many times of medical power of attorneys. And your agent, meaning the person you assign, must be calm and logical in emotional decisions. So it's a stressful time many times on that person. So you want to have someone, again, who's emotionally stable. Ideally, number 4 on this list, they're close to you. Someone who lives by can be helpful, especially if they have to talk to, for example, doctors or meet with attorneys and the like. The 5th on this list is willingness and availability. Since this is a very important responsibility, the person has to be willing. It might be obvious. The role of an agent can be time-consuming and stressful, so make sure you pick the person who is the most ideal, given, again, these 5 characteristics. So sometimes people pick their children. So let's talk about why that might be ideal or potentially not as ideal. So do you want to pick your adult child? Maybe not, because this is some examples. You might have a potential family conflict. So if you have multiple children, as an example, appointing one child as your agent could lead to disagreements or even jealousy among siblings. And it may strain family relationships, especially if decisions are made by the, quote, chosen child and perceived as unfair or self-serving. Number 2 on this list is they might lack the financial or legal expertise. Maybe that person's not as ideal in that situation, meaning your child. They also might lack and make errors in judgment, even if it's unintentional. Number 3 on this list, why you might not want to choose your adult child, it's challenging emotionally. Again, you're asking someone to follow through on what is in your best interests. And sometimes children, even though adult, might have too much emotion in the game. No matter how well-meaning, they may struggle to make objective decisions. As an example, an end-of-life decision is challenging. Number 4 here, where you might not want to choose your adult child, is conflicting priorities. Sometimes folks have challenges managing their own career or family, and adding a responsibility like a power of attorney might be overwhelming. And I know this is not ideal to even talk about, it's awkward, but the reality is the risk of misuse or abuse of authority. Sometimes people take that position and they abuse it. You want to make sure, again, as I said earlier, you have a trustworthy person. Now, if you don't know who to appoint, consider naming, for example, a trusted objective relative, a close friend or advisor, a professional fiduciary, or even your attorney. Sometimes estate attorneys, many times estate attorneys might act in that capacity, or even an institution with experienced power of attorneys, because this approach ensures decisions are made objectively and professionally, which are in line with your best interest. And here's the 5 things we thought we'd share with you in terms of the most ideal characteristics of a power of attorney. And as noted, some things you might want to consider when and if you're considering naming your child, because this is a very important decision and you want to make sure you get it right. So if you find value in this video, as I mentioned, if you see it on social media or get it in an email, go ahead and share it or forward it to a friend. And if you would like a second opinion on your financial situation, if you want to get a second opinion even on your estate planning, here's our website at nicholswealth.com. Go ahead on the upper right-hand tab, click on request an appointment, fill out the information, and one of our advisors will reach out to you and answer your questions and just give you some thoughts on maybe some things that you're thinking about, to give you some peace of mind and some clarity in today's financial environment. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.